What is up, guys? Welcome to my channel. So today we are going to discuss something extremely important. We are going to discuss the biggest change in the history of Dead by Daylight. Stay tuned.
I'm a sucker for your love, even though it's kind of toxic, babe.
Alright guys, so today we are going to discuss the developer update. Let's see. We are not going to discuss every single thing because there's a lot to talk about. I think we're going to just talk about the most important changes and how it's going to improve the game and my thoughts on it and the thoughts of the community, because I asked around and I wanted to know from killer mains and survivor mains pretty much what they think. So of course we're going to have a new system. There's going to be matchmaking incentives. It's going to be a lot more easy to get the perks. The prestiging thing that we all know, going from 1, 2, 3, done. It's gonna go out the window. For me, that's kind of sad because I'm very nostalgic about it. I know, especially if you want to just start playing the game, it's going to be very hard. The grind is absolutely insane. So the fact that they are doing it, it's good for Dead by Daylight. I think for new players, players that have a couple hundred hours, of course the diehards that have over 4,000 hours like me, or even 8,000 hours, they have a lot of them prestiged already. But we should also think about the future of Dead by Daylight, and I think this is a really good change. The biggest one is, of course, the generator speed. Pretty much what they did is they have increased the time it takes to power a generator to 90 seconds, up from 80 seconds. Kicking a generator will also now remove 2.5% of the maximum progress. So pretty much why they did this is because I think every killer main knows, even a lot of survivor mains know, how fast gens can fly, right? Left, right, doesn't matter, especially if you're not running any slowdown perks. It's just gonna pop up fast, and there's not much you can do as a killer if you don't have gen pressure. So I think this is a good change, but eventually we will go into this for a little bit more, because I do believe with different changes that they're making, the gen rushing is going to be even more insane because of this change, but we have to see. General killer improvements, also very, very important. We've reduced the time it takes to break walls and pallets by 10%. Now it's 2.34 seconds, previously it was 2.6. Generators can also be kicked 10% faster than before. Now it's 1.8 seconds and it was 2 seconds. So pretty much why they did that is because the average kill rate was not as great as they liked it to be, and they wanted to change it up. What killers used to do, most of them, especially also newer players, is they were tunneling and camping, and they really, really want to change that and to make the game more fun and more playable, especially also for new people. Also, they have reduced the cooldown for successful basic attacks by 10%. Now 2.7 seconds, and previously it was 3 seconds. And they reduced the duration of the survivor's speed boost upon being hit by 10%. Now it's 1.8 seconds and it was 2 seconds. It will probably be a massive difference while playing. Now it doesn't look as much, but it will be, trust. Also, moving forward, they said survivors will gain slightly less distance upon being hit, making it more difficult for them to run long distances to a safe area. You just gotta see how it works together with the new perks. Also, they tweaked Bloodlust to increase in power quicker than before. We are adjusting Bloodlust tiers to activate after 15, 25, or 35 seconds of chasing rather than 15, 30, and 45 seconds. We gotta see. It can be really good, really, really bad. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to give like a bad opinion, good opinion right now, because I need to play the P2B first before I can give you guys a legit opinion on this one. We have seen a lot of people complaining about Bloodlust. They want Bloodlust completely removed. They have tried that, and they also saw that that didn't work 100%, especially with what we have to think about, unexperienced players. People that just bought the game, they need to play this and they have no clue how it works. We should not only think about people that have a lot of hours. So that's probably why they are trying to balance this out. One of the biggest problems that I have in DBD is camping and tunneling. I am a killer main myself. I try not to camp, especially that. I try not to tunnel, even though it happens sometimes, especially if everybody is running the same outfit and everything else. It's sometimes very, very difficult. The thing is though, I don't like it. Also, as a survivor, when I play survivor, I absolutely despise it when a friend of mine or I get tunneled out or camped to death or anything like that. It depends. If it's a bubble in the basement, I don't mind. But if it's unnecessary and not funny, then I don't understand why they would do it. This is a good step. It's a really good step for Dead by Daylight to move forward in something like this. Because I think this was also one of the biggest complaints by survivor mains, but also by killer mains like me. Because no matter what I did, even if I didn't try to camp, if I didn't try to tunnel, I was still called a tunneler or camper. So hopefully with this change, it's going to be a lot easier for people to see a massive difference. Even though I hope that in the future they will change it even more, and we will get that. We will get to that in a little bit. So on the survivor side, there's a clear preference for perks that grant a second chance because they need it. Borrowed time, decisive strike, dead hard, and perks of that nature help a survivor avoid certain death, leading to an extreme usage rate. Because, like I said before, especially in the higher ranks, it gets sweatier and sweatier. People want to get that second chance, otherwise you're instantly out, especially with killer mains that have a lot of hours. They know exactly what they're doing. Survivors try to do everything they can, but that's why they are using the second chance perks, because otherwise they were out instantly. Moving forward. This is massive. Survivors will receive a 5-second endurance effect after being unhooked. This gives the unhooked survivor an opportunity to reach a nearby window or pallet, or for another survivor to position themselves for a protection hit. Sounds good, right? Additionally, the unhooked survivor will receive a 7% haste effect for 5 seconds. This will make them harder to catch and encourage killers to shift focus to the unhooking survivor. So what they are trying to do here is that pretty much they're saying if you are a killer main and you're gonna go again after the person that just got unhooked, that's not smart. That's not smart at all. And they're trying to prevent the tunneling. Both effects will be cancelled prematurely if the unhooked survivor performs what we now call a conspicuous action. These are interactions, other than being chased, that would improve your chance of survival, such as repairing a generator, healing yourself or others, cleansing or blessing a totem, sabotaging a hook, unhooking others, or opening an exit gate. We have seen this before, for example with DS, and I think it's a good idea. So pretty much what I hope they are going to do eventually is that you will never get rid of tunneling and camping, but it would be a really good idea to, for example, if a killer is camping, that it takes longer to die on a hook, or maybe increase like a penalty or something that you get less points. I don't know, something like that in order to try and avoid this. Even though they are calling it a tactic. It's a controversial tactic, but I remember very vividly that Dead by Daylight did say that it was a tactic that was allowed. So pretty much what they want to do is change the meta perk. All the meta perks that we just discussed is what they want to change. Such for survivors, Dead Hard, Borrowed Time, Decisive Strike, Iron Will, Self-Care, even though I don't agree, Spine Chill. Self-Care, I 100% agree, it's a meta perk for killer mains like me that run nurses all the time. For killers, Barbecue and Chili, Hex Ruin, Pop Goes the Weasel, Corrupt Intervention, Tinkerer, Hex, No One Escapes Death, Noed, and Scourge Hook, Pain Resonance. I have to be honest, I use those perks a lot. I don't really use Pop, and I definitely don't use Noed unless it's asked by chat or something like that, or maybe we want to joke around. But normally it's not in my base kit. I think this is very important to realize that a lot of killers, in order to win, are using this, and also tunnel, and also camp. So this is very important that you remember that. For survivors, like we said before, second chance perks most of the time. If I'm playing with friends and we are at high level, rank 1 and everything, this is basically what everybody brings. All right, let's go into the killer meta perks. Barbecue and Chili. I play a lot of Huntress. I love Barbecue and Chili. I love the points. I love to see where they are. I just love it. So they are changing it right now. Right now, you can of course have extra blood points and you see the auras, but they don't want blood points anymore to be the driving factor of this entire game. So like I said, they're gonna change the grind and you don't need blood points anymore. Not as many as you need now. So that's why they are removing it. While we understand this change may seem shocking, please keep in mind that this update reduces the grind by about 75%. That's a lot. We believe this is a necessary step in making other aura reading perks more appealing, as blood point gain will no longer be the deciding factor. So they hope that you are going to use other perks. However, you can stack Barbecue and Chili with, for example, right here, Lethal Pursuer. So pretty much, so you like aura reading? On top of the existing effect, Lethal Pursuer will now extend the duration of all aura reading effects by 2 seconds. Are people still gonna use Barbecue and Chili? We have to see. Is it possible? Definitely. Alright, Hex Ruin. Well, What do I say about this one? Right now, Hex Ruin is easily found by survivors. They're running certain perks that can easily read the aura of where the totems are. They can bring a map and see where totems are. Small game, for example, they are using, and it goes quick. Also, what also really happens a lot, especially with me when playing Killer, is that they instantly, while loading into a game, they instantly find it within like 2 seconds of playing. And one of my perks is just absolutely gone and ruined, and there's nothing I can do about it. I don't understand why they changed this perk, and I'm gonna be very honest. I think, and there I said it, I want old Ruin back. I don't understand why they are doing this. So with this one, I don't fully 100% agree. I can still remember back in the day while using the old Hex Ruin or a killer using it, that I had to learn how to do great skill checks. That's how I learned it, the hard way. So to bring Hex Ruin in line with other perks, we are reducing the regression speed to 50, 75, 100% from 100, 150 to 200%. This will reduce its power without destroying its primary appeal. After Survivor is killed, Hex Ruin will automatically deactivate. So the biggest question that I have about this is that if the Survivor needs to be killed first and then it deactivates, so they don't have to do anything about it. So does that mean somebody has to DC and that also happens? I don't know. Or killed on hook instantly if they do it by themselves? I don't know. I really don't know. Pop goes the Weasel. I mean, honestly, I never really use this perk a lot. I see a lot of, for example, clowns using it. I don't think this is going to be a major thing. A lot of people are probably going to miss it. I won't. This perk will now remove 20% of the generator's current, not total progress. It's going to be effective. It's still going to be effective. Is it going to be used a lot? No, and I will tell you why in a minute. Corrupt Intervention. I love Corrupt, okay? Literally, this is one of my perks that is always in my base kit. Why? Because the gens are so fast. They are done instantly if, especially if people are playing together and they know exactly where they are and doing the gens together, and they bring, of course, the meta perks that we are now changing. So hopefully this is not going to be like too much of a change, because I actually really like this perk a lot. Moving forward, the perk will deactivate once the survivor enters the dying state. We believe this change will keep Corrupt Intervention effective in helping the killer build early game pressure while providing a limit to its power. We just gotta see what happens. Tinkerer is a popular choice for the information it provides. Being able to prevent a generator from being powered is a game changer, particularly on killers with high mobility. It can, however, become a little oppressive when paired with certain regression perks. True. Therefore, Tinkerer can now only activate once per generator, but with the base charges increased to 90, killers will have extra time to approach. Pretty much what I think about this is that a lot of people complained, for example, with Billy or with Blight, especially using Tinkerer and Ruin together, and they couldn't find a totem, and with Undying, etc, etc. So pretty much it was getting a little bit boring because it was the same thing over and over again. Tinkerer can now only activate once per generator. I never really had such an issue with Tinkerer. I thought it was really fun that suddenly the killer was right behind you and you gotta run. But yeah, I guess it is what it is. Noed. They are changing Noed, and I do not understand why. I really don't. So if you don't agree with me in the comments, let me know. We like the way Noed encourages survivors to preemptively cleanse totems, so we are not looking to weaken its direct strength, which I don't agree with. Instead, survivors will now see the Hex Totem aura within 4 meters upon activation. So the moment that it activates, the survivors can see the aura. This range increases to 24 meters over the course of 30 seconds. We believe this change will keep Noed a strong choice for endgame builds, while encouraging survivors to find a totem and attempt that last second save. What they are trying to do here, I kinda understand, is that, especially in solo queue, people just leave straight away. There's no way, they just leave instantly instead of trying, or at least trying to save somebody that's maybe on first hook. They are scared, they just run away. I don't necessarily 100% agree with this, because I think that also the range increases to 24 meters over the course of 30 seconds. They are trying to encourage players to stay in the game and help each other out, but I don't think it's gonna work that way. I also feel that a lot of killers are trying Noed, and there's a lot of chances already that survivors, in my opinion, get to find totems, and also all the speed boosts and everything else while doing totems and the extra points they are getting. I don't necessarily 100% agree with this. Scourge Hook Pain Resonance. One of the perks that is probably hated the most by survivors. The most recent addition to the meta, Pain Resonance, allows the killer to remove a sizable chunk from the most progressed generator simply by hooking a survivor. A loud noise notification that also allows the killer to disrupt the survivors before they can continue repairing. A jack of all trades of sorts, granting both a powerful regression effect and crucial information. It's pretty much both. You can hear them, you scream, you see them scream, you know exactly where they are, and it regresses the gen. So I use this instead of, for example, Hex Ruin. With that in mind, we are removing the loud noise notification. Instead of exploding, the affected generator will now spark upon losing progress and survivors will no longer scream. We believe this will ensure pain resonance remains a strong regression perk while limiting its informational aspect. We just gotta see and try, I guess. Dead hard. Oof. The most survivor mains, they are very upset about this one. I understand kind of why, because Dead Hard has been in DBD for so long. Everybody uses Dead Hard. Especially as a killer, when I was always playing, I was counting down. Do you have Dead Hard? 3, 2, 1, explosion. Dead Hard, you know? But honestly, I think this is very good. As a killer main, I might be a little bit biased, but the fact that you get an endurance effect now and not necessarily a speed boost or like an extra chance to get somewhere, I think this is pretty good. I think this is pretty good. I think it's needed, especially against Huntress or like Nurse. For example, every single time when I was hitting a hatchet and you heard the splash, but because of Dead Hard it didn't work, I don't know. It was not always that fun. Decisive Strike. Well, pretty much Decisive Strike, I don't think a lot of is gonna change about it. I can definitely tell you, as a killer main, I'm very excited about this change. Moving forward, Decisive Strike will now deactivate once the exit gates are powered. In addition, the stun duration has been reduced from 5 seconds to 3 seconds. We'll also be simplifying the description of the perk. Decisive Strike will now be cancelled by conspicuous actions. The biggest thing though is once the exit gates are powered, it will deactivate. I know, and I know a lot of you guys know, and I know a lot of survivor mains, you guys do this too, is that you stand at the exit gate, teabagging, clicking with your flashlights, and I know you have DS and there's nothing I can do about it. Even if I hit you down, even if I actually win, you guys will still escape because there's nothing I can do. I think this is very good. I think this is a good change, and it also kind of allows people to actually escape, get out of the game, or do something else. Border time. Border time will now extend the duration of the endurance effect of unhooked survivors by 6, 8 to 10 seconds and increase the movement speed bonus duration by 10 seconds for any survivor you unhook. These effects will be cancelled if the unhooked survivor performs a conspicuous action, the same as what we discussed before. While the overall duration of border time is longer than before, we expect that having a lighter version in the base kit will cause the usage rates to drop. I don't agree. And I will get there. Iron Will. To address its high usage rates, we are lowering the grants of pain reduction to 25, 50, or 75%. Additionally, Iron Will is no longer active when exhausted, though it will not cause exhaustion itself. 100%, and I'm calling it now, is that a lot of spirit mains are gonna run Fearmonger. I think, honestly, and they didn't think about that at all, maybe they did, I don't know, is they actually buffed Spirit because of this change. Think about it. When you are exhausted, the Spirit can hear you, good. I think also a lot of people maybe need to start playing Ace. His pain grunts are a lot lower than the rest of the survivors, so maybe that's a good idea. Self-care. To reduce its strength, Self-Care's heal speed will be lowered to 25, 30, and 35%, and the item efficiency bonus has been removed entirely. I think a lot of people are actually upset about this, but I don't really understand why. With the new change of Botany Knowledge, it is actually faster than what it was before. I will repeat that again. Self-Care and healing is now faster if you use it together with Botany Knowledge than how it was before. So Botany Knowledge now increased healing speed by 30, 40, or 50%, up from 11, 20, 33%. 50%. So together with Self-Care, together with the boon, ouch. Spine Shield. This is a kind of a controversial one. A lot of people are actually excited about this. I used to use Spine Shield, especially in the beginning when playing DBD. I was very scared of killers and I did not know where they were. And this kind of learned me how to play stealthy, but also kind of know where they are and where to watch for and what to look for. And it really helped me in my gameplay. Anyways, Spine Shield will now only activate if the killer has a clear line of sight to the survivor. So it's pretty much not that if he looks my direction it goes off, no. Only if I'm in a clear line of sight. This will remove the awkward counterplay where the killer must look away to ensure a stealthy approach. It wasn't such a big deal sometimes. The biggest deal with Spine Chill as a killer main myself, it was the faster vaulting speed together with resilience. Next, we'll be adding a short 0.5 seconds lingering effect to Spine Shield. This will prevent the perk icon from flickering when the killer looks around and makes the action speed boost more consistent. They also will be removing the Volt Speed, the biggest one, bonus entirely, as it does not suit the perk's nature. The thing is, what I think a lot of people are not thinking about is that deaf people also play Dead by Daylight, and they were using Spine Chill in order to play the game. Alright. Non-meta perk changes. I am actually very excited about the fact that they are changing perks that we never really used as much into something that is very, very interesting to might use now, which is really great. They are shifting the meta perks into the non-meta perks, and maybe we can come up with really cool builds. So this one is one of them that I think is going to change. Overcharge. Along with its current effects, Overcharge will cause the kick generator regression speed to grow from 100% to 400% over the course of 30 seconds. Survivors will want to stop this generator from regressing as soon as possible. So pretty much what I don't think they are discussing very clearly. The same when they were talking about Corrupt and Ruin. If a survivor dies, is it done? Like, are they killed on hook? Are they DCing? Is it done? Do it this one, for example. Overcharge together with the perk Call of Brine. Does that mean if you kick a generator, it's going to be 600%? It doesn't say that anywhere. But yeah. Alright, Eruption. Eruption released with fairly safe numbers, but upon reflection, we're comfortable with increasing them. We have upped the generator regression penalty to 10% and the duration of the incapacitated effect to 15, 20, or 25 seconds. Alright, let's see how it works out. Knockout. A lot of people also in the community are not really happy with Knockout. Even though they are saying they're gonna slug a lot more, maybe, but also you guys are gonna have tenacity. We're gonna get there in a second. Those of you who would like to leave survivors on the ground can have a little more peace of mind. In addition to its current effect, Knockout will cause dying survivors to crawl 50% slower for 15 seconds and reduce their recovery speed by 25%. That's gonna be brutal. At the same time though, I think it's not gonna be a slugfest now, but I'm kinda afraid it's gonna be. Chorophobia, aka the clown perk, because it's a very difficult word. To make healing in the killer's terror radius even more unappealing, Chorophobia will now increase the speed of skill checks by 50% on top of its current effect. Not like a big change that I think is going to be massive, to be honest, but maybe fun to use. Dark Devotion. This perk is great for confusing and sneaking up on survivors, but the basic attack requirement makes it unappealing for certain killers. Dark Devotion will now activate whenever the obsession loses a health state. So can I use Dark Devotion and, for example, Survivor use Object? Is this going to be even worse for them? Especially when I'm going to use Lethal as well. Just saying, I have no idea. Yolt, this is going to be tough. This is one who's going to be very tough. I love Yolt, using it on my killers. I love it. Yolt allows the killer to regress generators simply by downing a survivor. To make it more consistent and punish careless survivor plays, we have removed the cooldown. Maybe they're going to change this again. Lethal Pursuer, we talked about it already. They are extending the duration of all aura reading effects by 2 seconds. So if somebody's running Object, can I see them for 2 seconds longer too? It doesn't really say, but maybe. Scourge Hook, Gift of Pain. This perk also shipped with saver numbers, so it will be increasing the action speed penalty to 10, 13, and 16%. Alright, let's see how it plays out. Thana. One that I do not like. I know, can you imagine as a killer main saying this? Honestly, I'm thinking about you, survivors. I don't think this is great, and I'm gonna tell you why. Legion. If you guys don't know, we had a Forever Mending Legion. I don't think this is gonna help. They kind of got rid of that because that was bad. I don't think this is gonna help. I think a lot of killers are gonna use Thana now. Can't really blame them. Another quick one, we are increasing the action speed penalty to 5.5% per survivor for a maximum of 18, 20, or 22%. I think Thana is already brutal as it is sometimes, so let's see how that works out. It's gonna be fun to create new builds with this. Scourge Hook, Monstrous Shrine. I used this perk all the way in the beginning as Trapper, I think. And with like Huntress, when I was not sure what I was doing yet. This perk will now convert all basement hooks to Scourge Hooks. Wow. Additionally, Scourge Hooks will now grant 10, 15, 20% faster entity progression, but only if the killer is not within 24 meters, aka trying not to be a basement camper. It's gonna be used as a basement camping perk, and I truly hope, even though a lot of people are not excited about this, I'm kind of excited about this because I just see a lot of memes already in my head with like different builds is going to be a lot of fun, I think. But maybe it's actually going to be used a lot for camping. And they're just going to stand somewhere else within 24 meters. I don't know. We will see. All right, Calm Spirit. Something that a lot of people are not really happy about that I've read in my community is because normally with Calm Spirit is that it was only used not that much, really. I saw it here and there, and I was always surprised as a killer when I saw somebody using Calm Spirit. I was like, oh, okay. I can still remember when the Doctor came out and he had a rework and everybody was playing him a lot again, that everybody was running Calm Spirit because you don't scream. In addition to Calm Spirit's current effects, you can now open chests and cleanse and bless totems silently at 40, 35, or 30% reduced speed. So a lot of people are not happy with that it's gonna reduce their speed. And we just gotta see, guys. Saboteur. This is something that I love, actually. I think this is gonna be so brutal and so funny at the same time. It can be either really funny and they're all gonna fail, or it's gonna be funny and I'm gonna get butchered as a killer. After months of studying, saboteurs can now identify scourge hooks. They know where you're going. Their auras are shown in yellow when a survivor is being carried. Use this information to your advantage to prevent scourge hook perks from being activated. I'm excited about this one. It can become fun, honestly. And together with my friends or with the community playing, this is going to be a lot of fun, I'm telling you. Botany knowledge. Well, you know what? Like back in the day, self-care was like 20 seconds heals. And now with Botany knowledge, with the increased healing speed, together with boons and stuff, I think they're gonna nerf this eventually. A lot of people are gonna run this, especially in SWF. We have one runner, you have one healer, etc. Do I have to say more? Probably not. We have to see how this goes, guys, but I don't think it's gonna go well. Off the record, I think this is gonna be the newest meta perk we will see. Upon being unhooked, gain the endurance status effect for 60, 70, 80 seconds. The endurance effect is lost upon performing a conspicuous action. While this is a lengthy endurance effect, any game progression activation will cancel it prematurely, making it purely for evading the killer after being unhooked. Which is good because they wanted to avoid the whole entire tunneling thing. However, what they don't say is that it is actually possible to get 4 hits, I think. Yeah, I think it's 4 hits before you get downed by a killer after being unhooked. Together with like board time, off the record, if you bring a medkit, dead hard, if you bring a medkit with, for example, an add-on so that you can get another endurance. I don't know. I have to see how it goes, but that is a possibility. So I think off the record is definitely going to be a new meta perk and I can't wait to use it, but also see if they are actually going to nerf it after the P2B, but I don't know. Lucky Break. I pretty much like this because Lucky Break was used here and there, but not as much, and it was a great perk though. This perk is great for escaping a chase, but the effect quickly runs out. That was the biggest problem. It just, either you had to heal very fast with a medkit or find somebody very fast, because otherwise it was gone. We're giving survivors a way to recharge Lucky Break. Each second spent healing another survivor increases Lucky Break's duration by 1 second. Probably people are going to try this out, and it's probably going to confuse me as a killer. Pharmacy. Pharmacy will activate whenever you're injured, guaranteeing an emergency medkit when you search a chest. This effect can happen multiple times in one trial. Well, pretty good, I guess. I have nothing to really say about that. Soul Survivor. I think that one is very, very important. Even though some Survivor mains and Killer mains did not really agree with this one, I agree with this one. In addition to hiding your aura, Soul Survivor will now increase your generator repair speed by 75% and your exit gate and hatch action speed by 50%. These effects are only active when you are the last survivor standing. I think, honestly, this is a good thing, because how many times did it not happen that you are at the exit gate and trying to hide from the killer, touch the exit gate, he's coming back, you quickly walk away again or try to hide again, hoping that he didn't see you and that you're waiting before the first red button pops. Now, maybe you don't have to do that anymore and maybe you can actually escape, because I think as well they're going to implement the change of a killer. If you're the last one standing, you can be killed and worried by the killer very fast. So we have to see how this is going to go. Distortion. For those who like to stay hidden, we've added a way to regain distortion tokens. Gain 1 token for every 30 seconds spent within the killer's terror radius. Pretty good. But honestly, if you don't use a lot of aura reading perks, this is not going to affect you as much. This is something what I'm very interested about is lightweight. In addition to lightweight's existing effects, your scratch marks will be more sporadic, making you harder to track. Your scratch marks will also fade 5, 4, or 3 seconds sooner, up from 1, 2, and 3. I think this is going to be bad for me, because I probably won't find the survivor very fast because I don't know where they went. I love this perk. I used to use this all the time, especially in the beginning. And I really like it because the killer is really confused. Deja Vu. To help survivors power the 3 closest generators, Deja Vu will now grant a 5% repair speed bonus to the revealed generators. See what I mean? So they are increasing the gen progression, like it's going to be harder. But they are also introducing new repair speed bonuses to perks. So, I don't know. No One Left Behind. Beyond its current effect, No One Left Behind will grant a 7% movement speed bonus to any survivors you unhook. Additionally, the perk now activates when the gates are powered rather than opened. Alright, nobody really used it as much. Now they are going to, and I will tell you why in a little bit. Dark Sense. When a generator is powered, Dark Sense activates. The next time the killer comes within 24 meters of you, their aura is revealed for 5, 7, 10 seconds. Dark Sense then deactivates. Tenacity. This one is going to be huge. Tenacity now reduces your grunts of pain by 75% when in the dying state. That's going to be terrible. Combined with increased crawling speed, this perk will now be much more effective in crawling away from the killer. I already have it now with Tenacity that some killers cannot find me. So this is going to be used a lot probably. Hope. Hope is great for those who like to make late game saves, but the limited duration can cause it to expire at an inconvenient time. Since this perk is only useful at the end of the match, we remove the duration entirely. This is going to be an issue because I have realized that with, for example, Hope, Adrenaline, stuff like that, that with perks that are going to give you a speed boost and you're going to use them together, in order to get that, you can have, I think, out of my head, 121% extra movement speed. That's a lot. Overzealous. In its current state, cleansing a totem grants you a repair speed bonus of 6, 7, 8%. Now that bonus doubles if you cleanse a hex totem. That's a lot. So they are, again, trying to increase the generator speed, and now it's very easy to do the gens anyways. So I think, like I said before, the gen speeds and the gen rushing is going to be even worse. I really think so. We're gonna live forever. I'm gonna miss this perk because, much like barbecue and chili, this perk features a massive blood point bonus, and they're just gonna remove it. But I really think it's gonna die. We're not gonna use this anymore. There's no reason to why. People are gonna run Medal of Man more, I think, because it's a lot more fun. Just saying. Additionally, actions that previously granted the token will now activate the perk's secondary effect. While active, healing a survivor from the dying state grants them the endurance effect for 6, 8, and 10 seconds. The secondary effect of We're Gonna Live Forever then deactivates. So how is that gonna work with, for example, Soul Guard? I don't know. Does it stack? Doesn't it stack? We have to see. Anyways, guys, this is it for me. Please tell me your thoughts in the comments below the video and let's have a discussion. See you on Twitch or in Discord.